Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Saul, and I'm about to get into a Midsummer Night's Dream, Act 5, the final act of this play. I just reviewed my reaction to um, Act 4, and here's basically my expectation going in. I'm looking forward to the the play and the general, and also how Bottom is going to maybe be the butt of a bunch of jokes. Uh, at the same time, I'm generally just expecting a pretty quick cleanup of just everybody celebrating that now everybody is in love with the right person, I guess. Uh, but the one thing that I think was very interesting in Act 4 that I am wondering what kind of follow through we're going to get in Act 5 is this whole idea that love is like a dream. Um, how did it end up that we ended up in love with each other, right? It's kind of magical, and now I suddenly love you, and and whatever. So that was a conversation that the four human characters had. So they were telling each other that they should tell each other what happened, and I don't know if that's going to actually come out in the dialogue of Act Five, but maybe. And if it does, I wonder if we deal with it directly like an essay, or if we just sort of like hint at it and just sort of move on. I'm not really sure what to predict for that. Again, I think this actually might be the very first Shakespeare comedy that I read straight front to back. I don't think I've read a comedy before. I've read histories and tragedies before, but this is my first comedy, which is why it makes it harder for me to imagine or predict what happens next. Even though it's also true that a lot of the tropes of Shakespeare's comedies are seen or can be kind of resonate through the ages, and you see it in like Hollywood movies or whatnot. And so I've been able to call out some of those connections, um, but yeah, it's a sort of new experience for me personally. Okay, so let's get into Act 5. So we are currently at Theseus's palace, and we're gonna have the wedding, maybe the double or the triple wedding. But I remember it being a double wedding, so we'll see what the double wedding is. Um, we have Theseus, Hippolyta. Sorry, just double checking that that's not a mosquito flying around. Philostrate. Philostrate is the father of not Hermia, of Hermia, right? I'll just go and quickly double check. No, not the father. That is Aegeus. Okay, Philostrate is just the master of the revels. So we're gonna get the play coming up soon. "'Tis strange, my Theseus, that which these lovers speak of, more strange than true." Oh, so we actually completely skip. Ah, okay. So that my answer to my first to that question comes out right away. We're gonna skip the retelling of the story. I would not put it past Shakespeare to do a retelling within the story itself, because by introducing lies or false memories, you can kind of make it interesting. But we are skipping it all together. Okay, and now we are doing something kind of like an essay. We are directly commenting on love. Um, Lovers and madmen have such seething brains, such shaping fantasies. And, it's something that I think comes out a lot in Shakespeare's tragedies and I guess these comedies is this sort of internal battle between reason and feeling. I'm trying to avoid the word emotion, but this sort of battle between the way what you think and believe and what you feel and want, and uh, and I think that dichotomy still is something that we call upon these days. Uh, I guess in the sort of Myers Briggs typology, there's literally T versus F in Myers Briggs, um, and we kind of classify people in that way. But for Shakespeare's characters, they're always sort of like reason usually loses. Yeah, they usually loses. The characters themselves, their feelings overwhelm. So they're very F characters if we really think about it that way. Now there's usually at least one older authority figure that tends to be more like kind of authoritative or whatever. Um, but this is like an ongoing, I guess, point of interest for Shakespeare. He kind of sees the human being, sees the individual as sort of always battling um, between their two sides. Now, I'm just sort of speaking out of my ass, so uh, if you have other opinions on that, let me know. Especially if you've read more Shakespeare than I have, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. You can drop them in the comments. All right, let's continue. Such fantasies that apprehend more. What? Than cool reason. Wait, the apprehend? Conceive. Ah, I see, I see. That's interesting. I misunderstood that. That imagine more than reason could understand. The imagination is too compact, too composed. Okay, these are hard to predict the definitions for, actually. Oh, I like how we just add the poet. This is just like a bit of meta commentary. We had the lunatic and the lover earlier, but then suddenly the poet just joins the ranks right now. Okay, so there's a bit of meta commentary there. One sees more devils than hell can hold, that is the madman. Helen's beauty in a brow of Egypt, in a gypsy's face, the poet's eye. And this is something that came out earlier in the same work. We had the idea that you can fall in love with something that doesn't look very um, appealing, and it becomes very appealing to you. The poet's eye in a fine frenzy rolling doth glance from heaven to earth, from earth to heaven, and as imagination bodies forth. So we're talking about, okay, this is the poet. Turns them to shapes and gives to airy nothing a local habitation and a name. Interesting. This is interesting. This is actually focused. The structure of this focuses more on poetry rather than on love. That's a turn I was not expecting. Such tricks hath strong imagination, than if it would but apprehend some joy, comprehend some bringer of that joy. How easy is a bush supposed to bear? Okay, so poetry is like the embodiment, is the embodier, is the incarnator of imagination. But all the story of the night told over, and all their minds transfigured so together, images, constancy. Because they all are agreeing, it must not be totally an imagination, an act of imagination. They all are agreeing, right? They have all seen the same thing together, so we must believe them. I read Hamlet not that long ago, but that's kind of the thing. I think Shakespeare kind of likes. I wonder if that's kind of a theme for him, like if multiple people hallucinate the same image or the same ghost or the same thing, is it a hallucination? Hippolyta says, no, It must be real. And it's also the same trick that Hamlet plays on us with a ghost for a while. You know, it's like, was that ghost actually real or not? But it's like multiple people have witnessed the ghost of King Hamlet. So now we have the so-called witnesses. Here come the lovers. More than to us, wait in your role. May may things that are okay. Okay, that's kind of hard to parse grammatically into modern English, but yeah, may even more joy and love, tender daily lives. Okay, your walks, your board, your bed, your home, your bed. Okay, come what? Come now. What masks? What dances? Where's our Philostrate? Here, Theseus. Say what enjoyment, pastime have you for this evening? What mask? Mask is a dance, right? Let's look this up real quick. It's a type of dramatic entertainment. Ah, I see, I see. A mask is a. Uh, huh. I actually just didn't know that. Like kabuki theater or well, talchum, which is in Korean, right? Um, hey, turn on the Netflix. How are we? What do we? Hey, this party sucks. We need Netflix. Is basically what he's saying. Um, there is a brief. How many sports are ripe? Make choice of which. This is literally Netflix. Here are the programs. The battle with the centaurs to be sung by an Athenian eunuch to the harp. Um, no, to be sung. Um, no, I don't want to watch an action movie. Well, none of that. That have I told my love in glory of my kinsman Hercules. I have told that have I told that which I that which I have told my love in glory. Of my, who fought with oh, I guess Theseus was the one who fought with the centaurs. Wait, I'm gonna just do a quick double check because I'm bad with. Okay, yeah, there was a whole thing here apparently. All right, you know what? That's good enough actually. I just need that connection. Um, the riot of the tipsy bacchanals, tearing the Thracian singer in the rage, the murder of the poet Orpheus by drunken women, devotees. That is an old show. So this is interesting. This list of programs, if you kind of imagine it as basically going through Netflix, and you also imagine an audience listening to this list, it's I assume that the audience should be familiar with most of these stories. So it's kind of like, you know, you're watching a play and there's a king and there's a servant and the servant is calling out Netflix like movies that you could watch that you probably yourself have watched like oh, there's Oppenheimer, we can watch Oppenheimer, or we can watch I don't know, I'm bad with Marvel, like the latest Spider-Man movie, or we can watch I don't know. Why is the Notebook the first thing to come to mind? But the Notebook, right? And that's like watching a play, talking about watching actors talk about other movies. You know, that's kind of the vibe of this sort of list here. So I can imagine why um, this would be interesting for an audience who is watching. All right, let's keep going. The Riot of the Tipsy Bacchanals. Okay. The thrice three muses, mourning for the death of learning, late deceased in beggary. Oh, they all died? Hmm. That's kind of interesting to know, actually. The sort of Marlowe and I don't know about Thomas Kidd. I guess I didn't really know about Robert Greene either. I only knew about Marlowe. But these three sort of forebears of Shakespeare, they all died right around this time. Poverty and okay, poverty of scholars and poets. Not yeah, that wouldn't be appropriate for a wedding. Yeah, of course it wouldn't. It'd be like watching like a Woody Allen uh, movie. Just like no, don't do that. Um, a tedious, brief scene of Pyramus and his Thisbe. Merry tragical, tedious and brief. Hot ice and wondrous strange snow. Oh, so obviously we're gonna get this. How shall we find the concord of this discord? Okay, I guess they kind of set him up to choose Thisbe versus Pyramus and Thisbe. A play there is some 10 words long, which is as brief as known play, but by 10 words it is too long, which makes it tedious. For in all the play, there's not one word. Wait, oh, I just realized we're making fun of this tedious brief. Tragical, tedious, and brief? Okay, so we're talking about opposites. How can you have both? That's kind of an interesting bit of like. Speaking of Woody Allen, I know his character aside, his reputation aside, when I watched his movies, I would feel simultaneously kind of like I'd be laughing and sad at the same time. Um, and it's like a unique feeling. It's a unique feeling that comedies can have, um, that they can produce, and it's kind of interesting just to see somebody from 500 years ago, not 500, 400 and whatever, 430 years ago, kind of talk about that same emotional reaction. A play there is some 10 words long, which is as brief. Okay, it's very, very, very brief, but by 10 words is way too long. It's a terrible play. I can't tell what he's saying. For in all the play, there's not one apt word, not one appropriate actor. And yes, it is tragical, for Pyramus kills himself in it, which, when I saw it rehearsed, it actually made my eyes water. But more merry tears of passion, the passion of la- the passion of loud laughter never shed more merry tears, made you feel like laughing and crying at the same time. What are they that do play it? Hard handed men that work in Athens here, which never labored in their minds till now, and now have toiled their unbreathed memories, okay, with this same play in preparation for your nuptial. No, no, I have heard it over. It is nothing in the world unless you can find sport in their intents, extremely strained and memorized. Okay, it is a bad play. Don't watch this. And for never can anything be amiss when simpleness tender and duty tender this thing. Go bring them in, take your places. All right, now we're gonna. Now we've really not. We've kind of hyped it up in a sort of ironical way by saying how bad it is. So we'll see what happens. But he also, but he also says it makes you laugh and cry at the same time, which is kind of a interesting bit. It's not purely. Philostrate didn't just say it was bad. He just said it was inappropriate. Okay, Hippolyta is the one with standards here. Okay, interesting. Now we're talking about how we are gentle for people who are incapable of acting. Okay. Quince. If we offend, it is with our goodwill. It starts off funny right away. That you shall think we come not to offend, but with goodwill. Okay, that's repetitive and a little clumsy. To show our simple skill. That is the true beginning of our end. Consider then we come but in despite. We do not come as minding to content you. Our true intent is all for your delight. We are not here. That you should here repent you. The actors are at hand, and by their show you shall know all that you are like to know. Okay, what? Is mispunctuation. Oh, what? Actually, I didn't understand this joke here. Um, oh, the whole speech. Oh, this is a sophisticated. Oh man, I'd have to reread the whole thing to figure out what he's trying to say. If we offend, it is with our goodwill that you should think we come not to offend, but with goodwill to show our simple skill. That is the true beginning of our end. Consider then we come, but in despite we do not come as minding to content you. Our true intent is all for your delight. Ah, oh, it's like one of the. Oh, that's interesting. I did Shakespeare. Respect. I mean, way back. Okay, so that is such an interesting. I've just never seen that. But I've seen similar things. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of like those Instagram poems. And there's like a really famous one. Instagram poem, readable, um, top to bottom, and backwards. Okay. There's like this thing, a reverse poem. Yeah. And yes, there's like a famous. Right. And see what I really feel about it, and I read from the way. Today was a very good day, and you never in a million hear me say it's all beyond my control. My attitude creates the reality. Yeah. So oh, it's called the. Yes. So it's not the same thing, but I don't know if you've ever seen these like reverse poems. They, regardless of the sort of like yeah, regardless of sort of the vibes of these things and like the message of these things, you can like it or dislike it. Um, this re I feel like I probably read. I'm a nothing. So right. So you can read this from bottom to top, and then it'll have a different message that is like the opposite or whatever. And so that's kind of the same thing that Shakespeare did 440 years ago, or whatever, 430 years ago, with this. Um, I was reading this, and the whole thing was just like, hey, I'm not here to make you have fun, uh, but actually, that's what he's trying to say. We are not here that you should hear repent you. The actors are at hand, and by their show, you shall know all that you are like to know. Okay, so he's Quince is being terrible already. He's already starting off on the wrong foot. Um, he hath rid his prologue like a rough colt. He knows not the stop. Okay, so we're actually directly mentioning the punctuations. Um, a good moral, my lord, it is not enough to speak, but to speak true. Indeed, he hath played on the prologue like a child on a recorder, a sound but not in control. His speech was like a tangled chain, nothing impaired but all disordered. Who is next? So, all right, we're not happy with his terrible speech. Okay, we have Bottom, who is Pyramus. We have Flute as Thisbe. We have Snout as well, Starveling as Moonshine, Snug as that. And I don't really remember these guys, but I'm not gonna go back and double check. It's fine. I'll just work with it. Um, Quince, Genos, but wander on till truth make all things plain. This man is Pyramus. This lady is Thisbe. This man with Lyman Roughcast doth present wall. The wall which sundered these lovers, which is um so okay, so there's a man in a sort of Lyman Roughcast costume, and he's the that is ridiculous. And through walls chink, poor souls, they are content to whisper. Okay, so this is ridiculous. Like, if you imagine this on a stage, it's like something you would see children do, and it is ridiculous. You should imagine it being ridiculous. I'm kind of laughing to myself at how stupid it looks to me in my head. This man with lantern, dog, and bush of thorn presented moonshine. For if you will know, by moonshine did these lovers think no scorn to meet at Ninus's tomb there too. So, I lantern, dog, and bush. Now I don't know what this dog refers to. Is it a real dog? But anyway, the lantern is supposed to stand in for the moon. Got it. So it's a prop. Then we have the beast. She dropped her mantle, which is like a item of clothing, which vial with bloody mouth, the lion stained, and comes Pyramith and finds oh, I see. He just finds the mantle. Okay, with the blade, he he goes towards the breast of the. Wait, he bravely stabbed his own. Oh, I see. Okay, he kills himself thinking that Thisbe's done, just like Romeo and Juliet. And then Thisbe draws his dagger and dies. Okay, for all the rest, let lion, moonshine, wall, and lovers twain. While wait, what? At large discourse. Oh, is this the verb here? Oh, I see. For the rest of the story, let our players discourse at length, like act out at length while they are in front of us. Got it. It took me a while to parse that grammatically, but I got it. Prologue is gone. The first thought, yes. The thought that everyone has. Wait, is the lion gonna talk? Like, that is so stupid and relatable. Sorry. I don't know if I'm the one that I can't be the only one that finds that funny. That is so funny. It is. I've had moments like this. Shakespeare will sometimes have his characters just say the funniest things. Um, I think I think there was a moment in Hamlet too when when I forgot the queen's name right now. What's Gertrude? When Gertrude um, watches like a play by Hamlet, she makes like the funniest comment. Um, but it's interesting. It's interesting because yeah, we in Shakespeare's plays, in the world of his plays, he has he has not just the actors. He has meta commentary on not just the actors, but also meta commentary on the critics, and like on what is talent and what is not. And so it's interesting. It's a very mature art form in Shakespeare's hands. He really thinks about it from many different angles, and presents to us the play with many different layers. So Theseus saying, "I wonder if the lion beats his beak" is so stupid. It is so stupid, but so relatable. Okay, let's go. No wonder, my lord. Yeah, sure, it can happen. Um, okay, he says he announces his own name during the play. That seems like a mistake, like something you shouldn't do. And such a wall as I would have you think. Okay, now he's actually straight up bragging. I'm gonna be the best wall. I'm gonna be the best wall that had in it a hole. Okay, so this is just now bragging about how good of a wall he's gonna be. This loam, this rough cast, this stone does show that I am that same wall. The truth. This is the truth. And this the cranny is right and sinister. Okay, so I mean, but probably there is a sort of mechanical clumsiness around like the fact that a character is a wall. So you probably do want to explain yourself to some extent, so people understand the wall that you are. Um, would you desire lime and hair to speak better? As your Nimbus, thank you. Glad to have you here. I mean, this, by the way, is just a funny little pun, but I actually don't know what Theseus is saying here. Oh, would you? Oh yeah, lime and hair is literally just the materials that he's looking at. The wall is lime, but there's also hair sticking out of this wall because it's a human being. Again, this is a ridiculous scene. It is so stupid. Like there is a man that has a wall costume. It is like it is stupid. Like it has to be stupid, right? Um, and they are complimenting the wall. That's the thing. So I think even the complimenting of the wall, you can make this funny by having the contrast between Snout being really bad, and then the king and queen. Oh, not. Oh, this is Demetrius actually. The Theseus and Demetrius kind of commenting on it as if it's not bad. So that creates some dramatic irony. It's funny because you're like, what the hell is Theseus and Demetrius saying? And then you move on. Pyramus draws near the wall. Here we go. The main character. Oh, grim look night. Oh, night with hue so black. Oh, night, whichever art when day is not. Oh, night, alack, alack, alack. So you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm trying to express how not eloquent this speech is, okay? This is not Shakespeare's best. He's making it intentionally kind of hammy and sort of heavy-handed. I fear my Thisbe's promise is forgot. Oh thou, oh wall, oh sweet, oh lovely wall. Um, and this, if you want to come back to movies, this is like those sort of like satirical, like I don't know, like Scary Movie. Is Scary Movie the right? I don't watch movies very well. Right, Scary Movie. Like Scary Movie is just like recycles the tropes of scary movies, right, and kind of makes fun of them. So this is kind of it's a bit of that. It's caricaturing the conventions of the time. Oh, sweet, oh, lovely wall. And then imagine a man. Like, imagine, like, seriously, you have to imagine one man looking at another man who is wearing a wall costume and being, and thou, oh, wall, oh, sweet, oh, lovely wall. It is so, okay. Um, yeah, so that's stupid. Show me thy chink to blink through mine eye. So before Act 5, I said that the main thing I was looking forward to was this play, and this play is really paying off. It is so dumb. Like, it is so, it is so dumb. Thanks, courteous wall. Jove shield thee well for this. He shows his chink, and what see I? No Thisbe do I see, O wicked wall, through whom I see no bliss. Cursed be thy sons for thus deceiving me. The wall, methinks, being sensible, should curse again. I can't tell. Is this being sarcastic? Is it being snide? I can't tell what the tone of Thesis is here. Okay, if anybody has ideas, let me know. No, in truth, sir, he should not. Wait, Bottom is the actor Bottom is directly talking. The Oh, okay. What? Um, oh, this is a shit show. Okay. So Bottom is directly talking to the audience right now. So he's like arguing with the audience right now, which is wild. No, in truth, sir, he should not. And then now the actor is explaining to the audience, the king, the cues for the play and explaining what's going to happen next. Hang on. Let's go find. She's the enter now. Okay, which is like I actually don't really know how to interpret the audience, or like I don't really know how to simulate the audience reaction to something like this, because this is just sort of like mind bendy to me. So I'm gonna move on for now. Yeah, I can't tell. It does feel sarcastic. I can't fully tell what that line is, but we'll see. Um, you shall see it will fall pat as I told. Yes, it will happen exactly as I tell you. Yonder she comes. That's like such a strange. That's such a strange thing. Okay, so there's like a real audience, and then there's the Theseus, who's the play audience, and then there's Bottom, who is the play actor. Okay, I don't know. I feel like I'm just slowing down too much. I'm gonna move on. Thisbe being played by flute. O wall, full often hast thou heard my moans for parting my fair parents and me, for separating my lover and me. I have moaned to you many, many times. I have kissed your stones with lime and hair, by the way, which this directly mentions the falseness of this whole premise. I see a voice. Spy if I can hear my. So obviously, so Bottom is making mistakes. I hear a voice. I want to see her face. Thisbe, my love, thou art my love. I think. Think what thou wilt. I am thy lover's grace, and like Lemander, am I trusty still? So Bottom is dropping the ball many, many times. And I like Helen till the fates me kill. So they're just okay. And this is classic bad writing, right? Like you're not earning the status of Leander. You're just calling yourself Leander. You're just calling yourself Leander, and you're not earning the status of Helen. You're just calling yourself Helen. Um, some bad movies do similar things where I can't think of. I just don't watch movies enough these days to have references ready at hand. Um, but yeah, you don't really earn it. In fact, if anything, their acting is showing them to be really terrible at their jobs. So probably this is supposed to be a bit of humor here, and not Shaphless to Prosperous. He accidentally later killed her. Okay, was okay. So he's completely mingling as Shaphless ITU. Uh, oh, kiss me through this hole of this vile wall. This is so. It's honestly a little gross. At least in the 21st century, in a world where glory holes exist, in the consciousness, I'm just I don't know. I'm just disturbed personally. Anyway, um, wilt thou at Ninny's tomb, meet me straight away? Tide life, tide death. I come without delay. Okay, so she hasn't died yet. Uh, whew, okay. Thus have I my part discharged. So okay, so yeah, and then the actors directly talking about their own acting is like kind of an annoying feature, and like I actually don't know how you're supposed to act it out. Like if you are trying to do a production of Midsummer Night's Dream, like I actually don't know. I can't. I mean, I can interpret the meaning of it, but I can't interpret how it should be played to make it funny or have the effect that it should have, right? Um, it's like weird that they're talking about their own play to Theseus, who is also an actor, for us, the audience. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's kind of too much for me to think about. Now is the mural down between two neighbors. No remedy when the wall. This is the silliest stuff. Oh, Hippolyta finally says something. Yes, Hippolyta hasn't said anything until now. Yes, there we go. This is similar to like Gertrude and Hamlet. Oh, this is terrible. Like this is just her saying, "Oh, yes, this sucks, dude." The best in kind are but shadows, and the worst are no worse if imagine. Okay, and Thesis is like the sort of aesthetic relativism guy. Hippolyta has standards, but Thesis is like, what's the difference between good and bad? We're just imagining it. Like Thesis is actually not a very good critic at all. It must be your it must be your imagination then and not theirs. If we imagine no worse of them than they of themselves, here come two noble beasts and a man and a lion. We get Snug and Moonshine. Oh, lion doesn't just roar. He actually starts talking. Oh, ladies, you may be a little scared when I start roaring. I am a fierce. Know that I am a fierce lion. This part I don't really get, but okay. This beast has a good conscience. Demetrius keeps just hyping up this play, and now we have Lysander is very fox. What? But Thesis is saying something that I agree with. I'm kind of confused now. Okay, we're just doing a bunch of wordplay right now. His discretion, I'm sure, cannot carry his valor. For the goose carries not the fox. It as well. I'm gonna skip this bit because I'm struggling with this part of the play where people are making comments on it. I can't tell how sarcastic they're being, and then the play actors themselves are making comments about their own. Like that whole part doesn't fully parse in my head. We'll just move forward. Now, I've been mentioning my struggles with this aspect of this, so if anyone has insights into how you guys sort of kind of access bit, um, this bit of the play, yeah, I'm curious what your insights are because I'm trying to imagine it staged in the funniest possible way. But I don't know how sarcastic should they be, right? Or how sincere should they be, or how idiotic should they be, or how smart should they be? Like I don't fully understand that. All right. This lantern doth the horned moon present. He should have worn the horns on his head. He's no crescent. Oh, a symbol of a cuckold? Okay. This lantern doth the horned moon. He repeated himself. Okay, got it. The man should be put into the lantern. Okay, we're just talking about how the props should be used. He dares not come there for fear the candle. It's already in need of stuff. Okay, so the fire is pretty big. I'm weary of this moon. Would he? Hippolyta is just being annoyed again, which is so far the one part that I can definitely track with that. Hippolyta is the only one saying reasonable things at this point. It appears by small light of discretion that he is in the way. You know what? Maybe you know what? Maybe I am kind of getting. Maybe the Theseus and Demetrius and Lysander randomly. Maybe these guys are the overanalyzers, the sort of critics. Maybe Shakespeare is sort of making fun, lampooning the critics of his era that are sort of like Theseus kind of stands for maybe the relativistic one who doesn't really have standards. Demetrius just like likes everything, you know, um, and so we're sort of making fun of the critics. Okay, that's at least my interpretation so far. Yeah. And Azure, when you say the audience expected as much and have been mocking them from the beginning, the audience that you're talking about is Demetrius and Theseus, right? I'm guess just gonna confirm that that's what you're saying because that is interesting. That's a different interpretation than I'm making, right? My interpretation is that Demetrius and Demetrius and Theseus are um, my not very confident, my sort of tentative interpretation is that they're the ones that are also being made fun of. Yeah, so but we'll see. I think I'd have to probably reread that to settle my own interpretation. But for now, for the sake of this stream, I'm going to move forward. I I kind of I kind of like this. I didn't know. I don't know if Lysander was this saucy earlier. Oh, he was a little saucy. This lion is a very fox for his valor. So Demetrius. So up until Lysander speaks, Theseus and Demetrius were only saying good things. A very gentle beast and of a good conscience. The very best at a beast, my lord, that I ever saw. And then Lysander is saying something that's contradictory. He says, is very low for his highness. And then Theseus suddenly agrees with Lysander. But if we take Theseus. Okay, you know what? I'm actually getting a little bit more comfortable with my own interpretation. Because Theseus literally changes his position here, right? As soon as Lysander says something, which is slightly negative, Theseus then also says something negative. Demetrius commits to being uh, positive, I think, for his valor cannot carry his discretion. And I just do not understand. I literally just do not understand this part. But okay. I'm starting to see Theseus as the sort of wishy washy, quote unquote, critic with no standards, changes his opinions all the time. Lysander so far seems relatively reasonable, and the queen Hippolyta is just the easily bored woman, the easily bored wife, which is also hilarious because I totally relate with that too. Um, let's and then Lysander is like proceed moon, which is also kind of hilarious. Like with the audience, so Hippolyta is like, oh my god, this is terrible. Um, Theseus is like, hey, 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 let's give them time. And then Lysander's like, come on, get on with it. And then Starveling. Demetrius then says something that actually agrees with the other thing and slightly critical now, but here we go. Now we get Thisbe. Where is my love? Oh, wait. So I'm assuming this O is a mistake, right? It's a mistake that the actors are supposed to act out. Like okay, yeah. It's as if Snug forgot his own cue, and then he roars. Okay, well roared, lion. Well run, Thisbe. Well shown, moon. Truly, the moon. Oh, Hippolyta is now saying something positive, which is confusing to me personally. But okay, moving on. Um, lion worries. Like chews on, gnaws on the mantle. Well moused, lion. Okay, so Okay. I, I guess a lot of this really just depends on how you act it out. Uh, I'll just let it go. I can imagine it being pretty silly. Is what I'll just say there. Then came Paramus, and so the line vanished. Okay, the audience is giving us a little commentary, and we're moving forward. Sweet moon, I thank thee for thy sunny beams. I thank thee, moon, for shining now so bright. For by thy gracious golden glittering gleams, I trust to take of truest this be sight. But stay, O spite, mark poor night, what dreadful dole is here. Eyes, do you see? How can it be? O dainty duck, oh dear, my thy mantle good. What? Stained with blood? That's okay. Um, cut thread and thrum quail. Crush, conclude, and quell. This passion, combined with the death of a dear friend, would make a man look sad. I actually, again, still struggling to parse exactly Theseus's attitude here. I'm still not sure the attitude here. But is he being sarcastic? Maybe I'm flipping back to Theseus just being sarcastic. I can't tell anymore. Beshrew my heart, but I pity the man. And Hippolyta is confusing me because I thought she was the reasonable one, but now she's moved. Maybe we are supposed to be moved by this, but I don't think we're supposed to be moved by this. It seems ridiculous. So I'm just gonna move on. Oh, wherefore nature didst thou lion's frame? Why did you create nature? Why did you create lions? Deflowered is probably the wrong word, right? Devoured. Yeah, there we go. Devoured. Oh, deflowered. That is that is so dumb. Okay, sorry. Um, which is no, which was, yeah, tense agreement. Little bits of grammar lessons here. The fairest dame that lived, that loved. Oh, actually, is this just a okay? Yeah, this is just him bungling his own lines. Um, that light that looked with cheer, come tears confound, out sword and wound. The pap of Pyramus that left, that left pap, where heart doth hop. That's hard to say, actually. He stabs himself. Thus die I, thus, thus, thus. Now am I dead. Now am I fled. My soul is in the sky. This is actually a little too long. Tongue, lose thy light. Moon, take thy flight. Now die, 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 die. This is too long. This is way too long. This is so stupid. Okay. Um, yeah, I actually probably should. It would be good to watch it would be good to watch a Midsummer Night's Play. A Midsummer Night's Dream. Um, Genuinely ridiculous. Also, I'm kind of curious where you guys viewers are based. I'm currently in Korea, so it's not easy to watch Shakespeare here. But not that they don't do it; it's just not that frequent, not that common. Um, so, yeah, just wondering about your opportunities to watch Shakespeare. No die, but an ace, for he is but an ace. Oh, an ace being the lowest throw, which is actually not the interpretation I would have had at first. He's less than an ace man, for he is dead. Okay, which is a little blunt, but okay. Um, with the help of certain, he might yet recover, and yet proven ass. Theseus being weirdly reasonable and like maybe reading too much into the situation, maybe being too literal. How chance moonshine is gone before this becomes bad. She will find him by starlight. So Hippolyta now seems truly invested in the love aspect of the story. I wonder if are we making fun of Hippolyta too then, like the bored the easily bored viewer who suddenly gets interested as soon as there's action. I don't know. I don't really know what to do with Hippolyta there, but anyway, this becomes. I hope she'll be brief. Again, Hippolyta, the easily bored. A moat will turn the balance, which Pyramus, whether Pyramus or Thisbe, is the better. He for a man, God warn us. She for a woman, God bless us. Okay, I don't really get that, but moving on. She has spied him already with those sweet eyes, and thus she means as follows. Okay. Dead, my dove? Love and dove. I'm sure this is kind of like an intentional, like the dumbest pairing of words possible. Like Shakespeare is just trying to be as dumb as possible here. Okay, so we have that. O Pyramus, arise, speak, speak, quite dumb, dead, dead, a tomb must cover thy sweet eyes, these lily lips, this cherry nose, these yellow costly cheeks are gone, lovers make moan, these eyes were green as leeks, this is three, come to me with hands as pale as milk. Oh, there actually is a pattern. Um, it's three accents, two accents, two accents, three accents, two accents. I'm actually not used to this pattern, but okay. Or is it 223? Asleep, my dove, what dead, my dove? O Para must arise. Speak, speak, quite dumb. Dead, dead, a tomb must cover thy sweet eyes. So this is not a form I'm familiar with. This 223 form, but okay. But it does. I think this might have been. This is the first time I'm noticing this form, but I think we had this. We probably had this earlier as well. Um, Anyway, she kills herself. Well, Thisbe dies a little bit more gracefully. She doesn't speak for like 15 more seconds after stabbing herself, so it's a little more efficient here. Moonshine and Lion are left to bury the dead, and I and Wall too. No, I assure you, the wall is down that part of their fathers. Will it please you to see the epilogue or to hear a Bergamask dance between two of our company? No epilogue, I pray you, for your play needs no excuse, never excuse. For when the players are all dead, there need none to be blamed. He that writ it had played Pyramus and hanged himself in Thisbe's garter. It would have been a very fine tragedy if he that writ it had played Pyramus, the guy, and killed himself in the garter of Thisbe. It would have been a tragedy. Instead of stabbing himself. Oh, no, so yeah, obviously this is a joke because that would be more ridiculous. All right, let's be done with the epilogue. Robin Goodfellow. You're in Brazil, but you watch in New York City. Okay, yeah. Actually, maybe I should make it an. Maybe that's the. I've kind of lost. I've kind of lost. New York City has sort of lost its appeal to me at my age with my experience, and also no longer my friends aren't really there anymore. But maybe that's something I should just do when I go to New York. I might kind of cast the city in a new light for me because there's so many things to watch. Yeah. Anyway, let's finish this off. A couple stanzas left. Robin Goodfellow is back. So hang on. The fairy gets the last word. The fairy gets the last word, or fairies rather. Fairies get the last word. Uh. Okay, so Act 5 is a marriage. It's a wedding ceremony with a ridiculous play. Just just sort of a farce of a play, just making fun of it. And that's such an interesting ending, by the way, to a comedy. So it doesn't, I mean, unless you actually stage it and have it happen, which you can do, like the emphasis of Act 5 doesn't really seem to be on Theseus and Hippolyta, and it's more on the play that they watch for entertainment. But then the fairies come in at the very end to say their piece, and I'm trying to imagine what that could be. How would you end this tightly with the fairies? I'm kind of sort of expecting right now more of like a little soliloquy-ish sort of like speech on like how life is but a dream or something like that. But I don't know. That seems kind of lame. So I don't really know what's going to actually happen, but maybe something like that. Okay, we'll see. Now the hungry lion roars. Okay, the wolf behowls the moon. Heavy plowman snores. All with wary task foredone. Okay, Robin, the puck being weirdly serious. Now the wasted brands do glow. Whilst the screech owl, screeching loud, puts the wretch that lies in woe in remembrance of a shroud. Each grave lets forth its ghost. Oh, he's sort of okay. He's bringing the night on. Um, okay, not sure what to think about that just yet. The night is here, and we fairies that do run from the presence of the sun now are frolic. Not a mouse shall disturb this hallowed house. I am sent with broom before to sweep the dust behind the door. He helped good housekeepers and punished lazy ones. Okay. So Robin hasn't said anything really other than change the scene. We're in the night now. We have Oberon and Titania and their train of fairies. Okay, and we're just gonna wrap it up. All right. Uh, Through the house give glimmering light by the dead and drowsy fire. The steady after me sing and dance to Tripoli. So we're all frolicking, we're singing and dancing. So again, going back to what I said in Act 4, I was expecting that sort of Shrek, the first Shrek movie, um, rolling credits party kind of like vibe. Although this feels a little bit more, the tone of it is less directly celebratory, right? What is all this? Like I don't really know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know how to exactly situate this, but like, you know, the Shrek ending credits song is like, um, "Hey now, you're a rock star." I forgot. No wait, no, is it? It's not that song. I forget which song it is. Um, but it's a very like upbeat thing. Um, Not sure how upbeat this scene's supposed to be, but here we have a bunch of fairies partying. Rehearse your song by rote, to each word a warbling note, hand in hand with fairy grace will we sing and bless this place. They dance to a song, down to the break of day. Each fairy stray. Okay, and just a good comedy happy ending. We're just gonna bless their wedding bed. And the babies there that are made will be lucky babies. All the couples three. Okay, so the three couples, the Demetrius and Helena, Hermia and Lysander, and Theseus and Hippolyta will be true in their love. Okay, so we are just wrapping it up. Happy ending, nevermore, no nor mark prodigious, despise nativity. So they're not gonna have some sort of weird like birthmark, some cursed birthmark. Their children, rather, their children will be blessed and fortunate and lucky. us consecrate and let us all separate into our chambers with peace. Trip away, may no sin, may me all by book. Okay. And Robin gets the last word. If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear. Had a theme, no more yielding but a dream. And this is kind of what I predicted, actually. Hey, it's all a dream. Gentles do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. I'm an honest puck. Escape the serpent's tongue. We'll make. If you'll wait. What? Hang on. It's funny. It's like a sort of weirdly defensive ending. Like, hey, if you hated this if you hated this play, please don't hate us. Good night unto you all. Okay. Let's make peace. The play starts with the Theseus and Hippolyta, and ends with Oberon and the whole train of fairies, which kind of puts an emphasis on the sort of unreality of everything, on everything that we saw, and on the nature of love. So it calls back on that theme. Even the title, again, A Midsummer Night's Dream. Was this all just a dream? Was this real? There's that whole sort of theme running through. But regardless of the themes, really, I think, and the reason I do these streams is to show what an engaged reader looks like. Like, I think the thing I'm primarily, like educated as I am or whatever, I'm not really reading for themes, right? Which is what they teach you in school. I'm reading just to enjoy the thing, to relate to the characters, or to, find interesting bits of language or whatever, just to enjoy the thing. And the thing I really enjoyed about A Midsummer Night's Dream, which is actually my first comedy, my first Shakespeare comedy, the thing I really enjoyed was just how balls to the wall ridiculous it was. It was just unabashedly just like stupid at times. and it was and it's weird, and it's kind of a special experience to be able to laugh at something that is from like 430 years old or whatever. So it's I can feel the genius of Shakespeare sort of brimming in the language, and sort of his ways of like conveying different characters through their mannerisms, through their speech patterns, through their punctuation errors in Act 5 or whatever. But yeah, like I think at the very base level, it's stupid, it's fun, it's easy to read, relatively speaking, for Shakespeare, and you get through it, and you should, if you read it successfully, you should have laughed a couple times, right? It should have happened. So all the themes about, is love real, whatever, man, I don't know. Like, whatever. The themes about like plays and actors and critics, man, I don't know, man. Everyone's just trying to have some fun, no? Isn't that sort of the general theme? We're all just trying to have some fun, get married, and have children without cursed birthmarks. I think that is the longing of all people. Yeah, so that was it for A Midsummer Night's Dream. 5 relatively short streams to cover these 5 acts. Let me actually think about what I might read next. It is a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. What was the thing I just read before this? Oh, I literally just read The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath before this. That was like less fun. That was definitely way less fun. So I'm gonna try to avoid Ugh, ugh. Like yeah, yeah. I think older literature right now is more interesting to do. So I'll stick with older things. Actually, on the topic of fun, maybe Huckleberry Finn would be a good next book to read. It is currently at the top of my mind. It's number one. But if anyone has ideas on what books they would be willing to read with me, like if there's a book that you have read or want to read and be put on a schedule to read, I'm happy to discuss any books for the next entry in this series. I haven't really made a decision, but I'm very open to changing priorities or rankings for a given book if I know for sure that at least one person is going to read along with me. If I know for sure that somebody's going to read along with me, I'm very willing to change my priority or prioritize that one higher. So if you have anything like that in mind, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll just make a decision and I'll kind of try to find something that'll be um, generally difficult to read because I think that's more helpful for you guys. Compressed because that keeps the streams a little shorter, and classic. So Cat's Cradle. Ah, interesting. That's also very close to very. Interesting. That's a good little coincidence. Let me remind myself of Cat's Cradle. Isn't that like kind of hard? Very trippy. Yeah. Well, I'll have to. Oh, I literally just watched Oppenheimer, so maybe makes sense. You know what? I will just give it a little nudge and make a decision sometime between now and next Thursday morning in Asia or Wednesday evening in the States. All right, thanks for watching, guys. And yeah, if you come up with an opinion on what to read next later on, you can just drop a comment. I'll make sure to read them. Have a beautiful week. Until next time, keep on learning, keep on growing. Peace.